On the show today, we have fresh legs, and the Sixers are back, baby. Everybody believes again. Let's go. Play in. Give it the finger. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Body Bio. Get 20% off any Body Bio order with code August at bodybio.com. Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky. Text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. And Surfside, iced tea and vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Surfside is great. I was at opening day on Thursday. Saw a lot of Surfsides. And man, for opening day at the Phils is always 51 degrees, overcast, windy, cold, sometimes cold. A 75-degree day with a Phils win and a Surfside. What a nice way to start the baseball season.
Absolutely.
And then
they just sent some merch, which I'm wearing right now.
Oh, are you wearing? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I got it. Did you get the super light hoodie
all
as well?
Quite a package.
Yes, love the merch. Thank you for the merch, Surfside. And thank you for the great beverages, of course. We all love Surfside. Everybody loves Surfside. You know, when you get into Surfside, you're getting something that tastes great, lightly sweet, whichever one you want. You know, whether it's one of the half and halves, the mango half and half, the raspberry half and half, maybe the new blueberry lemonade and vodka, maybe the classic Surfside, just the iced tea and vodka, maybe the classic half and half, the iced tea, lemonade and vodka. 2 grams of sugar in all of them, 100 calories in all of them. The cans look cool. I'm just adding that in. And no bubbles. Why would you have any bubbles in it? It's friggin' iced tea. It's lemonade. It shouldn't have any carbonation. Now, here's the good news. You can get it wherever you get your canned cocktails. Even better news, if for some reason you cannot find it, you can just go to drinksurfside.com where you can get some of that cool merch that we got for free because we're special. You got to be 21 to enjoy it. Please do so responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Gaskin, along with a guy who will only say it's the best win of the year when it is the best win of the year. I think that was the best win of the year. Our very own Mike Levin. Hi, Mike.
Ooh. That was nice.
That was a nice win.
It feels like this happens every year. There's the shape to a season, except for last year, which is obviously only bad.
Yep.
There's so many ups. It's a long fucking season. You got ups and downs. You at one point, all of us, maybe especially us, write off the team for good.
Yes.
Swear them off as basketball players and individuals.
Yes. As they deserve at the time.
Yes. And then there's the tease.
Yes. We are in the tease period.
We are in the tease. We have reached. Yes. This is the most classic version of this is the win 16 games in a row going into the playoffs. From, was that 2017-18?
Yes, without Joel.
Markelle triple-double on the last day of the season.
Yep.
I mean, that's a really nice win. That is a good, very good Hornets team that has been hot as hell for like 3 or 4 months. And I did not think they were going to win this game. This is a road game. They had to have it. You just keep stacking best wins of the season, and we'll negotiate which was which after the season. But that was a nice collective. This is how they're supposed to look team win.
I watched the game this morning and took my wife to a concert last night. So I knew they were going to win when I was watching the game. However, I can tell exactly when I thought they were going to lose the game. It was like 2 minutes left. And I think what happened? There's 2 minutes left. Oh, Bridges misses a 3 and Embiid comes back and misses a mid-range jumper to take the lead or something. And with 2 minutes left, I was sure that they were going to lose the game, even though I knew they were going to win the game. But as you said, it was it was an interesting rhythm to the game as well, in that they threatened the third quarter collapse when the Hornets went on the 11-0 run. It started off with, and it was a surprise that Maxey was even back. Oubre had said the day before that he was going to come back. You know, he the very funny quote about him breaking news that he was coming back. I love Oubre. Oubre is like, as long as I can move, I'm getting out there. And then a surprise, Tyrese Maxey upgraded to questionable the day before and then plays. That 3 weeks would have been Tuesday. So before the 3 weeks. Interesting rhythm to the game. Like Embiid comes out, it's the Embiid game. Then for a stretch, it's the Maxey game. Then for a stretch, it's the Paul George game, which then for a stretch, it's the VJ game, which, by the way, is the way this is all supposed to work with having these great players on one team. This was, I believe, the 7th game that all 4 of them have played together. 7 as we are heading down the home stretch of the season. But, you know, even a nice little run from Andre Drummond in the beginning of the 4th quarter, keeping things together, you know, with Maxey out there. I don't know, man. It was a big win.
Yeah, I have some negative things to say about it, specifically
I do
about
too.
the rebounding. But
the rebounding will murder them. But I wanted to do that second.
Let's do that second. So
okay.
LaMelo is kind of tailor-made to exploit the Sixers defense because he can get into the lane very easily, and all 5 Sixers are obviously dying to turn their full back and neck on their guy to stare at the ball handler, and he's big enough and willing enough to hit the shooter open cutter. But I thought they did defensively. I thought they did a pretty good job in this one. I mean, the rebounding killed them, so that is part of defense, obviously. But like, you hold this Hornets team to 17 points in the 4th quarter. I thought they did a good job on Knipple. He didn't have a ton of easy looks. Even a couple that he hit were like extremely guarded. I thought this was the thing I was most impressed by. Like, the offense is going to look like the offense when they're out there. I mean, the shots fell. It was nice. It's nice to see Joel's been hot from 3 of 6 last night.
41% in January, February, March. Amazing. And he is at, per 36, he's at 4.6. Now, I know we would all like to see that probably around 6, but aside from last year, which didn't count, it's the highest of his career per 36 3-point attempts. So he looked comfortable shooting them. Yeah.
Yeah. He's up to 34% of the season after starting extremely poorly. Yeah, it was. I think the offense is going to look how the offense should look. There's times they're going to miss shots. There's times that there's going to be a couple poor shot selection. There's times they're going to like walk it up for some reason a little too slow and have to deal with late clock stuff. But when everybody's healthy, they're going to have a top 10 offense because Joel is a walking double team and Maxey can get in the lane so easily. It's easy to take Maxey's like on ball speed for granted. He looked fast as shit last night. It is nice to hurt your
fresh
thumb.
legs. Yes.
Nice to hurt your thumb and come back and play 43 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was a...
is that what he played last night? 43 minutes?
43, yeah.
Oh, boy. I bet Nicky couldn't wait.
Couldn't wait.
Oh,
let me play him.
Oh, can we get overtime just so I can play him more?
Oh, Maxey, just stay out there after the game and run around some more. We're going to go hit the showers, but you keep going. But it was the defense that I was pretty impressed by. And I think a lot of that is Paul George, man. He's a really, really good defender, even still. He uses his hands super well. A great contest without fouling on that LaMelo 3 to tie it in the corner.
A couple of steals in the last 5 minutes. You know, got his hands on balls as well. I think you could even see it and they gave up an offensive rebound, and we will acknowledge that's part of defense, but we're separating it for the moment. Even one of the first, maybe it's the first or second Hornets possession of the game, I think they almost got a shot clock violation. They forced the Hornets just by playing normal defense, not the Nick Nurse try to steal everything defense. Just by playing normal defense, they gave the Hornets a lot of fits trying to get off a good shot. You know,
I thought they guarded. I mean, so much of it is that they're just they let guys by them very easily. And I feel like that didn't happen last night. I feel like they took the assignments very seriously. But yeah, I mean, Paul George, two good games since returning. I think he looks good attacking. The deceleration looks really good. He's drawing help himself and kicking it out, doing what he has to do. I thought his balance looks very good on the outside shot. I would just rather him. I get frustrated when he settles into like, I have a big on me. He did to Diabate a couple times. He was 4 of 11 from 3. Great. It's so frustrating when he decides to take those long twos.
Yes, and he's always going to do it. There was a couple in the fourth quarter that
every time
I wrote down. Yeah.
It is like he just wants to revert back to being that guy. And these are just like, it's not just a math thing. It is let me take a more contested shot. Because guys can get into him more when it's like from 18 or 20 feet. And he's not shooting well on this season. So give me a ton of catch and shoot threes, even some like little step backs. He's staying balanced on those. But I think like I would like to see him driving, and he has been for the most part. Got to the line 5 times. And it's important to mention, like, he did have his biggest possessions of the game, obviously a number of good defensive possessions, but he fought on the glass. He finished with 13 rebounds. Those weren't all like hard fought rebounds, but the one that wasn't even given credit for was Joel missed a free throw, and PG fighting with Grant Williams for it. It goes off of Grant. Yep. Sixer ball, and then he hits a catch and shoot corner 3 off the inbounds, and then gets a steal in the next possession. Like
which he never hits that 3.
He never hits. Yeah, he had missed that 3.
Yes,
like maybe 3 possessions earlier. And you could see, and he did like kind of a Horfordy clap afterwards when he was frustrated. I was like, but I'm like happy to see him be frustrated, even just a little bit. And then he hits the one in the next one. That's a really good sequence. And he is not a max contract player, but he can do max contract stuff sometimes. And he's just nice to have. With all the frustration, he's really, really nice to have. He makes your defense better. He is an elite catch and shoot 3-point shooter still. And he just makes everything make more sense. That's why they got him here. You got to appreciate when it's working.
Well, he is the ultimate tease player. He is Paul George is almost the poster child for it. And I thought MOC wrote a good article earlier this week about Embiid and Paul George. Just for a moment, taking in how bad the Paul George, I mean, we're halfway through the contract and it seems like he's barely played here. I mean, just a disastrous run for Paul George, but he does have a chance to make everybody forget about it with a good final 9 games here and the playoffs. He really does. And I'm going to make an argument after we talk about DraftKings. I'm going to make an argument for the daddy touch long twos. Actually, a small argument. Just a small argument for it. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, which is built for March, the tournament. How is the tournament going, Mike? I'm barely paying attention, but I know everybody with DraftKings Sportsbook who loves college basketball is loving it. Has it been a good one so far? I saw Duke won a close game. And
it's been an incredible tournament. Both the men's and women's tournament have been absolutely. The Duke women won on a buzzer beater 6-shot. And last night was some great Arizona-Purdue. Arizona Storms back in the second half. And Illinois handles Iowa and got 2 good games today.
All
Final
right.
Four is going to be popping. I'm very excited.
Look at the games today. Get some Mike picks. Let's get them. Hang on. I'm bringing it up now in the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. When you sign up, use code RTRS. Here we go. So we got Michigan -7.5 over Tennessee, and Duke -5.5 over UConn. What do you like here?
I would take UConn to cover that. Caleb Foster back for Duke made them win the game against St. John's. If he doesn't come back, I know they might not have won that. And Duke's been sort of escaping teams since the tournament started. And UConn, I just think is going to keep it close.
And Michigan?
Michigan is a fucking train, dude. They are really, really good, but Tennessee is so physical. I might say Tennessee covers. I might say both home teams or both favorites win, but don't cover.
But don't cover. And Arizona's that was the number one seed.
No,
right?
that was Duke.
Oh, that was Duke. Okay. Arizona was a number one seed, though. This is me at college.
Yeah,
basketball.
Arizona,
Yes,
Michigan,
okay.
Duke are the one seeds remaining.
Okay. Maybe because I kept picking Arizona that I think they were the number one seed. In any case, as I mentioned, if you're new to DraftKings Sportsbook, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly, but you got to use code RTRS. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code RTRS. That is code RTRS to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21. See show notes for details. Here's my argument for the long twos is that we were discussing whether, now I can't remember if it was with you or AU, but I wasn't yelling, so it was probably you. That Paul George at some point in the playoffs, it would be nice to have him carry the offense for 4 minutes. And I think the only way that he's going to do it is if he feels comfortable. That is part of his arsenal. That shot, that's part of his carry the offense arsenal. And I guess if you're going to tell me I can either have full on role player PG or the PG who has the ability to occasionally carry the offense, but it comes with those long twos, I'm going to take the second one because I feel like they're going to need it. So that is my argument for the long twos. That's why I'm pro long two.
Yeah.
No.
No. He's just been, I'm looking at the numbers now, and he's weirdly shooting 55%.
Guy.
Well, the eye test are that he's missing every single long two he takes as he's being complimented for how smooth he looks. And he did look smooth on a couple of those step backs.
He did
Very
look silky smooth.
Dribble drive looked nice. Very silky smooth. The silk is humming.
Yeah.
Weirdly 55% on 16 to the 3-point line, which to me is
that's the shot.
That is like, oh, his toe is on the line and he hits those. Like that is the classic. Why are you not getting your feet behind the line, Tobias? But he is from 10 to 16. He is shooting 34%, which is a career low by a sizable margin. He was up over 50 the last couple of years.
He's got to step back to 16.
Usually. I don't know,
man.
It's that to me that ranges, and maybe you're right that it's like when he gets space in the 16 to 23, it's like okay, fine. Yeah. To me, he is very affected by contact on his jumper, by being played physically, and so when he gets into the defense more, but then has to step back in the offense, and the defense is like getting hands on him, he is just not able to do that anymore. He's not able to be successful. So I just want to take clean jumpers, basically. Like that to me is what it boils down to. Is if you're going to shoot a jump shot, like make sure you are not being like harassed, because he's just not. He responds so poorly to contact these days. But he has been driving better, taking to the rim more. I want to see more of that. He's a good passer, smart player. Like just don't get too far into the guy you used to be, because you can't do it anymore.
Without you saying it depends on the matchup, because I know. But don't you think the best version of the starting lineup of the Sixers is with Oubre in the starting lineup and not Barlow?
Well, I mean, Mike, so this is the thing I was going to bring up later, with the rebounding thing, but it has not been as good of a run for Barlow over the last few months.
They basically have the same defensive rebound rate. Oubre and Barlow. Barlow's is slightly higher.
Yeah. It might be time to give Barlow's minutes to like a Jabari Walker for the rebounding, because he is, him and Drummond are the best defensive rebounders on the team. And they're just struggling.
Yeah.
They're just struggling out there.
The 21-7 offensive rebounds yesterday, and you could feel every single one of them from the Hornets. And the Hornets are a good team. You mentioned that, but the Sixers are going to probably play an even better team in the first round. And a team like the Knicks or the Cavs or the fucking Celtics are going to murder them doing that stuff. Like they're going to get murdered if they get killed on the defensive glass.
Let's get to it. We're not being positive enough about the game, which was again one of the best wins of the season.
Sorry. I mean, you're right. I was just asking about Oubre.
Embiid is, he's to look like exactly like he did. Did you see his Instagram post?
No.
After
one?
the Bulls win, he had an
Okay.
Instagram post that said 7th inning stretch, which
I
to
did
me
see
is him
that,
being
yeah.
coy about. First of all, he loves baseball. Big baseball guy, Joel.
Yeah.
And I think it's him being coy of like, I just took a little bit of a break over the last however many games that he missed. And he came back for in line with Paul on exactly the same game.
Even though he said after the game, like this is typical Embiid. He said after the Bulls game that the oblique is still very painful. It's probably going to be painful the rest of the year, and it's probably not going to get better until after the season.
Sure, yeah.
But also, he just took a little break.
Well, I think it might probably be both, right? Like,
Right.
It's let's build chemistry with Paul. Let's survive this. I mean, the Sixers did that stretch. Going 13-12 without Paul is like undeniably a success. And
Especially because it was mostly without Embiid as well.
A lot of it without it.
Yeah.
But when you were there, barely. I think back to that Utah game where Kyle Filipowski has an open wing three at the buzzer to win it. If he hits that shot, I think the season's over. Like, I think if you lose to Utah, I think they just like the whole thing falls off the rails and nothing. And like maybe they win 4 more games the rest of the season. I think just surviving those wins against bad teams, including Memphis, which they also tried to lose, was just enough to stay above water as you lose against good teams by like 45. But now everybody's back. The legs are fresh. Joel looks exactly the same as he looked, those few good months before. Him and Grant Williams are pissing each other off again. That's nice to see. And it's hard to he had a few blocks earlier in the game, Joel. They didn't.
He had a big one late. Well,
that's what I'm gearing up to talk about that. So he only gets credit for 2 blocks in the game. He had a couple more that were like, you get fouled and then Joel blocks it and then he goes to the line so it doesn't register as a block. But he was sort of starting to feel it a little bit and going after balls. And that block on Brandon Miller on the wing 3 that would have tied it right in front of the Sixers bench, that's like a moment. And there was a lot of feeling there. You could tell how fucking pumped up he was for that. There was a lot of desire in that block. Mm-hmm. And I really like to see it, and I was happy for him. The defense is what it is, but it's nice to see occasionally over the months that Joel's been healthy, him dialing it up. He can't dial it up all the time. He's not consistently this kind of energy player anymore. He does get winded. He does have to like save himself, but it's nice to see a higher ceiling for what he can do defensively or with energy or effort. And I think that's a big deal. On top of the fact that the 3 absolutely is a weapon on offense, and that saves him from absorbing too much contact or like having to work that hard on offense so he can save himself a little bit. I think he's doing a good job of really like using his energy well. And I hope to get to see that in the playoffs with a healthy Joel.
Well, you're talking about the offense earlier. If, let's say they make the regular playoffs, we will talk about the offense a lot, stalling here, stalling there, or, but the reason that they don't win will ultimately be because of defense and or rebounding. So a world in which Joel is mostly has more ability to do those things that we see in flashes on a more consistent basis. He is just, pacing himself and using it in the playoffs is the only world in which they can beat a good team in the playoffs 4 out of 7 games. Like, they're just going to have to be better there. They're going to have to be better defensively. And it starts with him. It has to be him. He'll be the centerpiece of it. So yeah, I don't think they're going to out offense a lot of the teams that the better teams are going to play, right? Like, they're going to have to play defense and they're going to have to rebound. And if he does have a little more in the tank for the playoffs, it would be really, really good sign, I think.
Well, let's just talk about the rebounding because we keep dancing around it.
They're 27th in the NBA in defensive rebound rate, 27th.
And there's like a lot of eras of the season
Yeah.
That's not consistent, but the one consistent thing is that they cannot rebound. They cannot clean up misses.
No.
They do not do it. They were owned on the glass again last night. They gave up 21 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Charlotte took 96 shots to the Sixers 82. Charlotte took 55 threes to the Sixers 34. Like the Sixers didn't turn the ball over much, nine turnovers, but neither did Charlotte. That's the math is not going to work out in your favor. You just can't give up that many extra possessions. And the best time to shoot a three, obviously, is after an offensive rebound. So you're giving up open threes there too. First play of the game, Moussa Diabate's had a great season. Really fun player, huge energy big. The kind of energy big I have been dying for. If Bono was like a little bit bigger and stronger, that's the kind of guy he would be. And Embiid immediately gets like moved out of the way for a Moussa putback.
Yeah.
And if he's just like not going to be the rim protector he used to be, which he's not, usually, even though his block numbers were never crazy good, Joel was always so good at deterring rim attempts or affecting the shot. And he was always up towards the leaderboards of the percentage people shoot at the rim when he's around. He's really, really smart player back there. He can't do it as much anymore. Gives up a lot more around the rim than he used to. Then he needs to be better at like throwing his ass into people and actually boxing out. He tries to out jump people or out length people or hope the ball comes to him. It's not, the rebounding is very problematic and will be worse in the playoffs that Joel both plays almost exclusively in drop and doesn't rebound enough. Like the idea of drop is that, okay, at least I'll be there for the rebound. I'll be there for rim protection. He's not doing enough of that to like earn drop. And I understand you're not wanting him like to be defending on the perimeter anymore, but you got to kind of pick one that you're succeeding at. And right now it's none of them. When a shot goes up for the other team, I am assuming they're not getting the rebound. Maybe I just want the shot to go in so we don't have to like endure watching them not get the rebound over and over again. I don't know if they have a plan to overcome the rebounding issue in the playoffs, aside from like, yes, it's going to happen and we are going to suffer from it. I don't know what the coaching staff's plan is. And Embiid's plan is to get the other big into foul trouble. That's what he does. That's what he does anyway.
He's like, he tries to do that every game now.
Every single game. He got Moussa 2 quick ones. Paul George's plan, even though he had 13 rebounds, a lot of him standing around while other guys rebound around him. They put in Drummond in the fourth quarter, like you mentioned. And the whole bench got into it when he drew a loose ball foul on Moussa. It is collectively not enough boxing out, a lot of turning around, a lot of the long rebounds, ball goes over their heads. When they're in rotation, it's easier for there to be a guy sneak in for a tip dunk kind of thing. It's just, I don't know what the plan is. To me, that's why I started thinking about Jabari Walker, or maybe put Bona in with Embiid more so he can be like a roving 4.
Talked about that last pod. I don't know. Bona is not as skilled an offensive player as Barlow is, but like, I don't know that that's what I need from Barlow, to be quite honest, in that particular lineup. What I need him to do is defend and get rebounds, and I think Bona might just be better at that. You know?
Yeah, well, Barlow's the better. If you put up like Barlow, Jabari, Bona, I'd include Watford in this. Watford is a pretty good defensive rebounder and a good grab and go guy, in the a way less athletic version of what Simmons used to give you. Barlow's the best defender on the perimeter of all of those guys, and they need that and they like that. And he doesn't need the ball, and he can space the floor a little bit. His jumper has been better over the last few months of the season. He doesn't take too many, but he's willing to take that corner 3. Jabari too. But you just need somebody in there that's just like getting stuff, and he hadn't done it since the first few months. I don't know if he's got an injury he's dealing with or something, but like it is a marked difference from what he looked like those first few months when he was on a 2-way, and like making them feel alive. The defense felt alive on the glass, or offensive glass, defensive glass, because Barlow was attacking it, and that has just not been the case really. And that is the biggest problem. That it is the biggest problem with the team is that they don't rebound. So you start to look at who else can we put in there to succeed. And I think it'd be somebody like Bona, who's fast as shit for his size, or Jabari, who's at least like really very physical down there on both the offense and the defensive glass.
To be clear, from a rate perspective, Bona is a better offensive and defensive rebounder than Barlow is. So I mean, like I don't know what to say other than, will Barlow occasionally shoot a corner three that goes in? He will, and he's got better hands. But like, I'm not saying all the time, but I think they should give the Embiid Bona thing a shot just to see what happens with it.
Yeah, the bummer is that Bona is not a good defensive rebounder either, and I think
he's better than Barlow. His
absolutely. I think it's slightly different. Bona at the 4 as a rebounder versus Bona at the 5 as a defensive rebounder. Right. I do think that would be slightly different.
Yeah.
And you'd have to look at it more than just like who gets what rebound. But nobody's good enough is sort of the fact. And you're sort of just kind of piecing it together. Jabari Walker is like the reason he's in the NBA is because he's a defensive rebounder. Like that is why he exists. And so that's the easiest and simplest one. And he will stretch the floor. He's pretty lumbering on defense. Probably maybe the worst defender, maybe him or Watford, of the 4 of them. So I don't know how willing, like Nick's rotation last night. This was we have to win this game rotation.
Yes.
Barlow played 15 minutes. They basically, after they stopped using him, which was I think early in the third, it was a 6-man rotation. They were not, Campaign played 2 minutes. Yeah. Like Justin Edwards played 8. Like they did not want to go to the bench. This was, we're keeping our best guys on the floor and we are winning this game. And I think the Hornets went into their bench more and more consistently. And my concern with the Sixers, as has been the case all season, is that Nick's button to press is play his best players more. And in the playoffs, that's something everybody does.
That's everybody's button. Yeah. The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Body Bio. Body Bio is going to push the right button for you. I got a button for you to push. Go to bodybio.com. Use code August for 20% off. That is bodybio.com, code August for 20% off. Mike, sodium butyrate, been a help for you, Mr. Gut Guy over there, as gut issues? Yeah,
absolutely. Took it about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I guess I was on the podcast 20 minutes ago. But
now, is that something you take, because you would know, when you eat something or you're feeling something, or is it something that you just take regularly?
Daily.
Regularly. Yeah. There you go. Body Bio has, they are a supplement company from South Jersey. By the way, happy birthday, Body Bio Mike. I believe Body Bio Mike is 37. Celebrated by going to Jared McCain's return to Philadelphia. Going to that game, going to watch the Sixers get fucking destroyed. You should have waited, buddy. You should have waited a couple weeks, even though the birthday was
there's a certain
early.
type of Sixers fan that wants to be at that game.
Yes,
that's the game
that's a good point.
To go to.
That is a good game to go to. Of course, butyrate was mentioned. They're a supplement company from South Jersey that quality. When I say quality, I mean like quality control. I've brought this up a lot of times, but I feel like everyone can see it. Everyone can see going into the pharmacy and seeing or the grocery store and seeing the giant rack of supplements with dust on them that have been sitting there for years, that are likely oxidized or likely not in takeable condition anymore. That is not Body Bio. Body Bio is only sending you things that pass their quality control thing. You're not going to see them on the grocery store shelves or anything like that. The butyrate, we have mentioned Elite, wonderful product. Liposomal vitamin C, wonderful product. What else do we got in there? We have what's the Remineralize, wonderful product. I could tell you about them, but if you go to bodybio.com, you'll learn what each and every one of them do. Elite is an everyday thing for me. Help get rid of my cramps. As Mike said, butyrate is an everyday thing for him. Use code August at bodybio.com. You're getting 20% off your order any day, anytime, and write it down because it's not going to be in the description of the pod. Once again, 20% off, code August at bodybio.com. Want to give... I think you mentioned the dunk of the Maxey dunk on Miles Bridges, which was outrageous. and then the Oubre dunk on, and they both the guys deserved a tech for their stare downs of the opposite player afterwards.
I agree. I'm happy that I didn't get it. We gotta stop. We gotta stop with the techs after a stare down. That's just not. That can't be a foul. That can't be something. That can't be.
Yes, but they both did. Like they did the thing. They did the tech, the tech thing. But amazing. So the Sixers now, I put the standings here.
Wait, before we get to standings, let's talk about Maxey. It's just so nice to have him back. Like having him, there is maybe no better secondary player in the NBA. Like he's had to carry the team so much, and he's shown early in the season he was popping. He was really popping and very capable of doing it. And some efficiency numbers have dropped, and he got tired and all that stuff. But when Joel is there, he is just so good and helpful. His speed and shooting is insane.
Well, it almost catches the team off guard, and instead of the team being able to focus on it and prepare for the speed, prepare for the 27-foot 3-pointer.
So I mean the dunk is not just the dunk to me, because the dunk was excellent. The dunk was, look at him accelerate for this long rebound. Look at him blow past 2 Hornets defenders and then absolutely yam on Bridges. That was beautiful.
And then how many dunks do you think up after he yammed?
Really fun. Nobody with a better reputation in the league than Maxey.
Yeah.
How many dunks do you think that is for Maxey on the season?
I feel like he's got more than he has historically.
This is a career high in dunks already. Yes.
17.
27.
Wow.
27th dunk of the season. Previous high was last year, 15.
Wow. Oh, so 17 would have been a high for the season. Wow. How about that?
A nasty dribble drive move past Josh Green. That sort of hezzy crossover, get him behind you, finish opposite. That's a nice move. It's nice to see. It's always cool to see him use his speed and also some guile as he ages, and those legs age rapidly. Thank you to Nick Nurse. His speed is going to become less of a weapon. And so he's going to have to keep, the shot is obviously helpful to that. And so is a ton of more like dribble drive moxie. A gorgeous righty scoop high and soft off the glass. That's such a tough shot. Iverson style. I had another one over Kalkbrenner from the left side. So it's such a hard shot. And we talked about it a lot because of the injuries and stuff. Maxey's at 62 games. He's going to qualify for some first team stuff. And that is because other guys are not qualified for that. There's a chance that he with a strong finish, he could finish first team NBA if other guys don't get to 65.
Well, yeah, Cade Cunningham getting knocked out, who's probably not going to get to 65, will help him. I'm trying to think, who do you think the all NBA guards are? Who is he?
It's like Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, right.
Brunson.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown should be on there.
Yeah.
SGA, we'll see. So I don't know. We'll see who qualifies for it. But
SGA, of course, right?
VJ, I thought this was VJ had what, like 8 to 10 games where he got to be much more the guy.
Yes,
and he put up some crazy rookie scoring numbers. So some of the kinds of numbers that it's like not since Luka kind of stuff, which is exciting, even though they were mostly in like huge losses. And now he gets to kind of slip back to be, okay, now I'm kind of Alex Caruso-y again. Like when they're full strength, he can just be flying around out there. It's nice to see him slip back into this role as a rookie and play good team basketball.
Flying around out there is something like Chris Collinsworth says about the defense in
flying around out there. Yeah, he is flying.
Those guys are flying around out there.
He's exactly the kind of guy that Chris Collinsworth would love. I think is exactly what he's like, a safety that's just flying around out there.
Yeah.
And it was nice that there were still a couple stretches where they occasionally were like, "Hey, go get yours." Like you haven't gone at anybody yet. Like go handle some like one-on-one stuff. Had a couple really nice right to left crossovers where he blew by Brandon Miller, who's a pretty good defender. And I love how he goes from burst explosion, finishing at the rim, finishing through contact. No free throw attempts last night. Again, that's going to be something he works on this offseason. But he can so easily settle into being squared up for three. Was 3 of 4 last night. Nice balance. it is hard to. It is hard to be both. It is hard to settle yourself down enough. You see it with Grimes sometimes, where he's just like a little too excited to like really bounce into his three with like intention. And VJ really slows down in a nice way. And he tried to EM on Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner got him. Good shot blocker. And he missed 2 putback dunks. And I think I can feel him being frustrated that he hasn't gotten more this season.
I think we did an over-under for like poster moments for VJ, and he is going for them.
Yeah.
He is really trying, but it seems like he fails on them more than he succeeds on them, even though he's had a few nice ones. I mean, that one on Kalkbrenner getting denied was rough, man.
Yeah.
That one was
I love it. I love it. Look, that happens. If you're going to poster people, sometimes they're going to poster you with a block, and that's I think is beautiful. I'm happy with that. He has continued to go for it. I think he has to get stronger. He does still look pretty slim out there. And that's going to happen. He'll be able to fight through some of that contact. And some of it is just like bad luck and all that stuff. I think we're due for a couple like playoff dunks for VJ. I think it's going to click. And just working through the rest of the team. It was nice to see Oubre back. Nice to see Oubre back.
Very nice to have Oubre back. Yes. Hit a couple of big threes. Well, at least one good corner three, I thought. But his energy, I think, is really good. He'll make a bonehead mistake here and there, but I think overall they're better when he is out there. And that's why I think the best starting lineup is with him in the starting lineup. Nobody can rebound anyway, so you might as well be able to actually shoot.
It felt maybe I like him coming off the bench because there's just so few touches for him in the starting lineup, and Barlow is a guy you just don't have to give the ball to. Whereas Oubre, I think, starts to get a little sad if he's not being fed sometimes. And it felt like forever since we had one of those opposite baseline cuts off an Embiid drive, and Oubre got one this game. Joel found him really nicely for a wide open dunk. Love those. You just get, when you're playing with Joel Embiid, you just get wide open shit. It is really nice. And yes, that dunk on Diabate and one was fucking nasty.
Yes. And the stare down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good win. It's a really good win. And there's not that many buttons that Nick Nurse can press aside from play those guys and hope they succeed. Between it wasn't a great Bona game. He had no rebounds in 6 minutes. Justin Edwards came in for a hot second, had a nice dunk. I do think he's added more bounce to his game and strength, which is nice for Justin Edwards. That I would like to see that continue. Grimes being useful, but just a good game that hopefully they can build on that and induce more chemistry and just fucking rebound the ball, man. We got to figure something out.
The Grimes rule is that if within 2.5 seconds of him touching the ball, something good doesn't happen, he better get rid of the ball or something bad's going to happen. That is the 2.5 seconds. That I want a clock in his head. 2.5 seconds. There was one moment last night where he was going to go to the rim. It wasn't there. And I was like, oh no, no, nothing else. It wasn't there. And he thought about it and he passed the ball away. I was like, right thing. That's the right thing. It's not last year, buddy.
He did back down Diabate at one point, I think, because Musa had 2 early fouls. And so he's like, oh, I can do that because you maybe draw a foul on him. And it was just like, that's not going to work out. So, the occasional Danny, I'll grant it. But helpful guy. It's nice to see him hit a couple threes last night.
All right. As I mentioned, the Sixers now. So they're still in the 7 seed.
Standings talk.
Yeah, standings talk. Hey, standings talk song. You only have about week and a half left, but every game's going to be big now because there are 2.5 games separating the 5 seed from the 10 seed.
That's great. So that's good for the East.
It's exciting. Yeah, the Sixers are 7th seed right now. They're a half game behind the Hawks and the Raptors. The Hawks are in the 6th right now. Raptors are in the 5th. The Sixers are tied in the loss column with the Hawks, but I think have lost the tiebreaker for the season with the Hawks.
So it's very cool that tiebreakers matter at this point. Sixers Adam is obviously on that, Mr. Tiebreaker himself.
Yeah.
He
doing
said
it just for us, nobody else paying attention to it.
That's right. The two-way availability, Adam. Yeah. They have 2-team tiebreaker advantages over Toronto, Orlando, and Charlotte. They have lost the tiebreaker to Atlanta. And the winner of the tiebreaker with Miami will be determined tomorrow in the game tomorrow night. This is from Sixers Adam.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to matter. Atlanta is a team that we lost 4 times to, so happy to not see them please in the play-in. And there's good Eastern Conference games every night. Tonight is Toronto, Orlando. That's a big game, and then Sixers Miami tomorrow night. These are we are down to the fucking wire, man. This is Eastern Conference basketball fever.
I think look, it is what it is. Who would you rather? Who do you think the Sixers have the best chance of beating in the first round? Here are your options: the Cavs, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Pistons. Rank them. Rank them 2 ways. Rank them 1, who you think they have the best chance of beating, and 2, who you would hate losing to the most.
It really is. My honest answer is that I don't.
Oh my God.
Care or think that they could.
Oh my God! Just tell me who you think they could beat.
I can make it up. I could lie and say I think I think we're going to handle this team.
Lying. You do a basketball podcast. Who do you think?
When I have the integrity to say that when I don't have an opinion on it, I'm not going to give one.
Okay, who do they have the least chance of beating?
Well, I would say the Celtics probably is the one there. It would also make me feel the best about though. So I think I'd a little bit like to dance with the devil and play the Celtics and go like, look, Cade has had a nice season. It's good that you have a stretch 5 in Vooch, but like Embiid should absolutely handle the fuck out of them. And if the Sixers can go up a little bit. I mean, it's just, they're such a well-coached team. I would just love to beat them. I would love to beat Boston, but they won't because they never do. So that probably was the one that would be the least likely. Pistons without Cade, but they're not sure if he's going to be back or not. So we'll see about that. The Knicks have been good and are an incredibly frustrating team to play, and the Cavs may have the highest ceiling of all of them at this point. So it's. To me, it really is about like if the Sixers are the team that they were last night, then I think they have a chance against any of them.
The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky, the official financial planner of my life. Sounds big. It's true, though. Send a text, Ricky, text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. That is Ricky to 484-471-4873. Set up a little consultation. Doesn't cost you anything. Anthony has been a Ricky guy for a long time. I did accuse him of being a Disney adult a few pods ago, and we got a couple of emails asking if that was right. Was I out of line? He is definitely a Disney adult. I want to say it's the whole Disney family, but he's as into it as anyone in the family. So I just throwing that out there. I was not besmirching his name. I think he is proud of it. That said, wouldn't you like to have somebody in your life who worries about the financial stuff so you don't have to? That is what Anthony is. Wouldn't you like for that person to not only be good at what he does, also have a good, for lack of a better term, bedside manner, be able to talk you through what he's doing, be able to, settle your concerns when you have them? That would be Anthony. I think personally, for me, the idea of saving for retirement, the idea of, do I have enough money in case I lose my job? The idea of, if you have kids, I have to put away college money for them, all these things. The idea of, oh no, I switched jobs. How do I roll over my 401k? All of that is so overwhelming that it is easy just to not deal with it at all. You have a better option. That would be Anthony. Let him deal with it. He can do all the planning for you, and you just sit back and relax and count the days to retirement. That's what you could do. Whether you want to be very aggressive in your investing and saving, he could do that for you. Whether you want to be very conservative, he will listen to you and find the best path. Man, he is the greatest, not only because he's a Ricky guy and not only because he is helpful to me and my wife, but the Ricky listeners I've heard from that have reached out to Anthony all feel the same way. He's your guy. So whether you are 20 years old, you haven't even thought about it yet, whether you're almost 40 and you put it off, he's the guy to reach out to. Once again, text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873 and set up a little chat with Anthony and find out if he's the guy for you. I bet he is. So the NBA, as they have, Adam Silver said, we are going to attack the tanking issue and we're going to change it for next year. And I'm dialed in. And thank you for the emails about your solution for tanking. I'm so thankful for the 8,000 emails and voicemails. We're probably never going to read them. But man, did the NBA really lock in. Mike, there's going to be 3 proposals here per Shams Charania that they're going to vote on. And lucky, they're all very, very uncomplicated and clear.
Yeah.
And
well, the first one is banning the tush push, which I didn't think was really relevant, but they think it's going to help.
So here we go. The first proposal, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in tournament and the 8 that qualify for it will all be part of the draft lottery. The bottom 10 teams will all have an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery, with the remaining 20% of the odds being split among the 8 play-in teams in descending order from 11th to 18th. All 18 spots would be drawn as a part of the lottery in that format.
I like that. I like drawing the whole thing as a lottery. Why not? Why only
the play-in teams as well?
Yeah. Well, no, in the sense of like, you could drop from the best odds to like the 11th spot just because they're not. It's in the current situation only the top 4, and then it's descending from your record from there. If they're all drawn as part of the lottery, then if your number just never comes up, you could really slide a lot, which I think is at least more interesting. I don't know if it's going to help or be good, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I guess. To me, all the teams having an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery is dumb. Because it.
Well, it's bottom 10 has 8% each, and then
yes. That's what I'm saying.
Like 2% from 11th to 18th. Yeah.
But there's such a huge that the point of the draft
yeah.
is that the worst teams get good players so they're not bad anymore.
That's right.
And this incentivizes a team to be one of it's very hard to be the worst team.
That's right.
But it's not very hard to be one of the 10 worst teams. And okay. So here's the second proposal. 22 teams, the bottom 10 teams that missed the play-in tournament, the 8 that qualify for it, and the 4 playoff teams that lose in the first round will all be included in the lottery and will be ranked according to their record across 2 seasons. The last part, weighing the teams by their record across the prior 2 seasons, is how the WNBA weighs its lottery system. Yeah. Under that system, each team would need to reach a minimum win floor in each season to mitigate the need to lose every game possible. For example, if the minimum floor for an individual season was 20 wins, a team that went 14-68 would be 20-62 for lottery purposes. And if a team wins 40 games one season and 20 the next season, it would go in as 30 wins for the lottery. In this system, the top 4 spots would be drawn as part of the lottery as it is currently.
Yeah. I mean, these are all like, okay. This isn't revolutionizing anything.
And the third proposal is a 5x5 method, sources told Charania. In this one, the same 18 teams.
Well, hang on. I think 5x5 explains itself. I think we can move on. You guys all know the 5x5 method. And so what do you think about it?
What do you think of 5x5? This reminds me of when the NBA decided to do the U.S. versus the world in the All-Star game. And it was, this is easy. And then they're like, okay, we'll have 4 teams and they'll play round robin, 10-minute games. All right. And then we'll end up with USA versus USA in the final game. The third proposal is a 5x5.
We'll sort them based on political party. Yeah. And so this will be, and then the non-voters will be here.
Yeah, in this one, in the 5x5 method, the same 18 teams from the first concept, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in, plus the 8 that make it, would be entered into the lottery. The team with the 5 worst records would then have all the same odds, with them descending from there, and there would be a lottery drawing for each of the top 5 picks in the draft. After those 5 picks are selected, there would be another lottery drawing for the remaining 13 teams.
I like the idea of 2 lotteries.
If it gives us 2 opportunities. If any of the teams with the 5 worst records didn't land one of those top 5 spots, like last season, when the team with the first, second, and fourth worst records all moved back, the lowest they could wind up with in the second lottery would be 10th, preventing a bad team from falling too far down the draft board. I have an idea. What if they just give the worst team the best pick, and then the second worst team the next best pick, and so on and so forth?
I honestly think like the argument is don't do a lottery at all.
Yes. Yeah.
Just go like, if you have the worst record, you will get the worst pick. The frustrating thing is they continue to try to disincentivize losing with lottery odds and stuff, when the argument has been much helped by incentivizing winning. Like the play-in tournament has been a success and is cool and is fun. But if you're not in the play-in tournament, like the Bulls, you have every reason to lose. So it's like, because you have if there was no lottery and the Bulls were like the 10 spot, where are they right now? They're probably around there. They're the 9. They would have no reason to lose. They would just play their stuff. But because the lottery odds change, you get more opportunity when you're the 8 or the 7, then they can continue to keep like plunge. So it's like, well, then just eliminate the lottery.
Yes.
I mean, I'm saying that as someone that loves the lottery, but the idea of these things of being like, if you do this, then you won't be able to win. It is either take owners' teams away. No one else is saying that but me. No one's brave enough to say it but me. But take their teams away. Threaten to have their teams removed if they're bad for too long. The Kings should have a forced sale. Maybe the Wizards should have a forced sale. Like there's too many. If you're bad for too long, then you lose the team. You have to sell it, and the league like steps in. You get
it's probably not going to happen.
But like that to me is the thing. It has to be that, because there's not going to be a difference between.
Well, but that doesn't. Those two things, I understand what you're saying. Those two things are probably disconnected in that the issue that they think they're dealing with now in tanking. I don't think the Wizards have been mismanaged for years.
Right.
But they're not a tanking. But that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
So on all these, everybody talking about it is like, think of the fans. The fans of bad teams want them to get a better draft pick.
Yeah.
That is straight up fact. We are here doing it. Everyone's like, think of the fans. They're going to the games. Don't go to the games. If your team is tanking, don't pay for the games. And if you don't know enough that your team is tanking, then you're stupid. And you shouldn't go to the games because you're dumb. So pay attention a little bit more. You can't, if you're showing up to a Wizards game now and being like, I hope they win, then like, that's on you, man. You're bad parenting. If that's the case, like we gotta the idea of fans that are just like fully blinded from like the realities of the world, where they're not babies, and so they should suffer by having the team threatened to be taken from them, forced sale, please, or like people just don't go to the games and you don't make money. Like that should be the risk. And so we should encourage fans have a voice in how they choose to spend their money. And so if you want to be bad, if you want to tank, if you want to be whatever, the Pelicans or the Kings or whatever, like people stop showing up and then you're embarrassed that way. And that is that's the consequence. You lose money at the gate. But the reason it's happening so much this year is because it's a fucking great draft class. And so it's not going to happen next year because it's not as good of a draft class. And they will say that they saved it when it's really just like, I'm not going to throw a season away for the draft class that's coming next year because it's not this year.
Well, it also seems like naturally the Wizards won't be tanking next year. Naturally, the Jazz won't be tanking next year. There are just some teams that I think will be naturally out of this. And the Kings are just bad. It's funny that you look and you see, DeRozan's still playing. Like the Kings are, talk about a bad owner. I mean, that is a bad owner. He's not, it doesn't seem like he's a cheap owner. Just seems like he is a too involved, dumb owner is what it seems like. So,
yeah. I mean, to me, it's just like tanking is just not that big of a problem. It's going to happen no matter what. You can eliminate the lottery. I think it'll happen less. You can, I'll stop saying threaten the owners, but that's what I want them to do. But it's ultimately like, in a worse draft class, this kind of stuff won't happen, and you just need a commissioner or a league to like shame owners into not doing it.
Well, that is strong commissioner would help because a GM is like, what incentive is there for Dallas to be good right now? Yeah,
like they don't have their pick next year. They can go and get another like star with Cooper Flag, or should they like try their darndest and play everyone until their legs fall off? Like what? It's just reality. Like they're trying to find the best way to succeed as a franchise, and it's so clearly for a team like Dallas and many of these other teams, the way to do it is to be bad right now.
Well, the good news is there's going to be 2 more teams, so that'll help everything out.
I think that's going to save it.
That'll save it.
What's coming up on the fucking schedule? I wanna know. Can we talk about the schedule? Can we do some schedule talk?
So really, only one easy one in the next 6 for the Sixers, who play the Heat in a big one on Monday night.
Yep.
Then the Wizards. That's the easy one. But then
I don't think it's just, schedule talk has to be now for everybody. We got to go through everybody's schedule talk.
Well, I have another podcast to record in 8 minutes.
Across the board.
so,
Let's just do between now and the next podcast.
Okay. All right. So it's only 2. So it's only the Heat and the Wizards. That's a good one.
Sixers at Heat. Heat are playing today in Charlotte. No, sorry, in Indiana. And so they'll be coming off a back-to-back. Boston at Atlanta on Monday. Important game. And then on Tuesday, Charlotte at Brooklyn, Toronto at Detroit, Phoenix at Orlando. Games that matter.
Okay.
Wednesday should be cake for the Sixers. Sixers whiz. Atlanta at Orlando. Big game in the 5-10. Boston at Miami. And Sacramento at Toronto. Those are your important games before the next pod, which will be Wednesday.
Yes. All right. Well, biggest win of the year. If they beat Miami, is that the biggest win of the year? I don't think so.
Depending on how it happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Depending on how it happens. Yeah, I think it could be the biggest win of the year. Sure.
Is there any argument that you could make that Wednesday's game against the Wizards, if they beat them, is the biggest win of the year? I think that is I don't think there could be any argument that would be the biggest win of the year.
I think he could find a way.
We'll see. You know what, AU? If you want an article idea, rank the biggest wins, the top 10 biggest wins of the season. Would be great. Would be infuriating. Would be a whole podcast of me saying it's wrong. We'll talk to you Wednesday night. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. You know, like face.
If you don't fuck with me, then I won't fuck with you.
If you don't fuck with me,
Then I won't fuck with you.
but if you fuck with me,
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Time for plan B.